Holy smokes, Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 2 finals well underway. She's punching their ticket in the face of the world champions ascended, saying, get out of here. I've heard your track record, and I'm not impressed by it. I run on tracks all day long. Get out of here.
Yeah.
She's going to be waiting in the finals because up next we've got Clash and we've got TTV, your kind of perennial NA favorites, squaring up against the South America West UCS World Championship qualifying squad. And Clash
Mhm.
has looked pretty good, and TTV looked great last night.
Yeah, I mean, in their respective Unite Mike's Mayhem events, I think they were playing it to an exceptional level. This game is going to be a great one. I can't wait to get
Mhm.
into it, but there are a couple of things we want to mention at the top of the show.
Yes.
First off, a huge shout out to one of the sponsors for tonight, the Chad69 on twitch.tv. That's with 3 E's in the, and then of course, don't forget those funny numbers there at the end of their URL. Go check out the stream. Seriously, such a fun support player to watch. They even have some dynamite emotes, which you can see on our pinned comment by Dupesnax. Go check out that stream. The other thing is, if you want to help sponsor this event right now, exclamation mark prize pool in the chat will lead you to a GoFundMe where you can donate any dollar amount that will go directly to the winners of tonight. We are already at, I think, over a $300 amount prize pool for tonight, and we would love to see that go higher if at all possible. So thank you so much. Dupesnax, talk to them about what a subscription to Unite Mike's Twitch channel does for them.
Will do. We call it our emote initiative. If you subscribe to the Unite Mike's Twitch channel or use your Amazon Prime subscription to Unite Mike's, any money that comes into the channel, we donate at the end of each month. We don't keep any of it. We choose a new charity at the end of each month. We double up sometimes, but if you check it on Twitter, we post the receipts of our donation, where it's going. We're very open and candid about it, so no questions asked. If you put your money into Unite Mike's to get our emotes, we put that money towards a good cause. That's just how it is, the emote initiative. That's what we're doing. We're not trying to make money out here, Zoinks. We just like Pokemon Unite.
Absolutely. Yes, of course, that is where we are at. And we have some incredible Pokemon Unite in front of us. We have Team TTV versus Clash for our game number 2. And of course, they're going to be playing against whoever wins this one is going to be playing against Shees on the other side of the bracket. So a great rest of the night for Unite. But we have to decide how draft is going to look in this next game. We need a coin flip. I'm going to say TTV on the head side of the coin, Clash on the side of tails to see who gets the choice of first or second pick. We've already talked about how strong that first pick can be, as we've seen evidence so far in these last 4 weeks.
It is tails, my friend.
All right. That means that Clash is going to be the ones to decide if they want first or second ban.
Let's do it. Let's do it. First ban, first pick. Goodbye, Blissey. What do you think?
Most likely, yes. I think that is where we're going to see. Honestly, between these two teams, I would not be shocked to see Sableye make it through these banning phases and Dodrio to be very involved in the banning phase. Clash and TTV both adore that Pokemon, and it is a very worrying sight to see if you see it on the other end of the lobby. So I would be concerned if that is going to be coming your direction. Maybe you want to use a ban on it, or maybe you're confident that you can get it. So that is going to be, that of course is going to be one of your options.
Yeah. So if Clash is banning first, I'd presume, yeah, maybe what they do is they put TTV on the button, right? So maybe they ban Sableye, put TTV on, sorting out a Blissey or sorting out a Dodrio or whatever, and whichever one they don't ban, you pick the other, and you rock and fire from there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you have a few options ahead of you. You were just mentioning, but yeah, we have already talked about the sorry, just getting some Discord DMs, trying to sort out draft mode and everything like that. But yes, the options ahead of you in draft mode are very exciting for what they give to the game and that level of strategy. My favorite part that I've seen from draft so far is to just really see the clash between natural player talent and their comfortability really come to at odds with, well, you really need this for the composition, so buckle up, you're going in, and this is the Pokemon you're playing. So I like seeing that that a little bit of clash or conflict sometimes when it comes to these games.
Clash, pun intended, eh?
Nope, actually not. But twice in a row I did it. All right, sounds good. We have now moved chat open. Kids behave.
Yeah, yeah. We've opened the chat from toddler mode. Please show just a modicum of decorum out here. I know Unite Mike's Mayhem drags the slobber out of all the worst of us, right? Turns us all into beasts. I get it. I get it. But let's try and keep it calm out there. Here we go. TTV Clash. Let's get ourselves a ban. Let's get ourselves a timer. If these teams don't pick up the pace, we need to start sorting them out.
I'm gonna go nuts. Yeah, Sprinkles, you behave yourself. Yeah, no, we have the second ban choice from Clash, meaning that TTV is gonna go ahead and ban Blissey to start this one off.
Yep,
Sugar.
makes total sense. Okay, so do you give TTV the opportunity to pick up Dodrio and really make Lucano's day, or do you turn that guac bowl a little brown and you send over the Sableye? A lot of questions there, but we've seen Ender on Sableye, and that is an absolute mean machine hitting the Thea Sky Ruins, and nothing that I'd want to contend with personally. I think Dodrio is theoretically a little bit easier to deal with, so I think if I'm Clash, I'm still knocking out the Sableye.
Yeah, I think that's a safer pick. If Lutano runs shop on you in game number 1 with Dodrio, fine. You can maybe try to go for the other direction. However, I still think that it is a decent option to ban the Dodrio early. I mean, getting TTV a Sableye, I don't know. I don't know what's worse. A Lutano Sableye Lutano Dodrio or Sableye. Either way, we won't know because TTV or Clash has decided to ban Mew as their ban.
Okay, Clash. Okay, they see some different writing on the wall, or what they're saying is, if we can't have Sableye and we can't have Dodrio, give us the opportunity of at least one of them. We're not banning anything. Let's go for a targeted ban to see what we can get. I would be shocked if one of these two picks for Clash isn't that Dodrio.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have 2 picks in a row now. Dodrio would make a lot of sense. I think a Mamoswine selection here is going to be a big one. Okay, cool. Yes, we have Mamoswine and Dodrio being the selections on the side of Clash. So I like that. I like those lock-ins from Clash. Makes a lot of sense to me. Good picks all around. Mamoswine, certainly. We thought Slowbro was going to be the big draft mode winner. I think Mamoswine has gotten that victory in spades.
Yeah, without a doubt. Mamoswine has definitely stepped up. It's been getting slowly picking up some tools here and there on each patch update, right? It's just slowly being drugged back into the spotlight, and I'm happy to have it here. Now, I'm not going to say I have a couple badges on Mamoswine, because I certainly don't, but it's a Pokemon I'm trying to earn them on, because that thing is fun to play.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, we have Otter being a menace again. Alolan Ninetales has been selected by TTV as well as Mr. Mime.
My man going to the garbage bin, pulling out an aluminum can and saying, "Yeah, I'll play that." A9. We've been giving Otter a lot of smoke for the A9, but really they've looked incredibly impressive on it. And something honestly that has worked so well that it might be moving up in their draft pick priority order, right, Zoinks?
Yeah.
So it's been doing so well that maybe it's becoming a more and more known quantity, and they'd rather risk. They don't want to risk not having it, so pick it early and understand that other players on your team can flex.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have some great flex options in, of course, Lutano. Zugrug probably grabbing the Mr. Mime here, and then Retsu can really play a myriad of things. They've played every role in the game, so I think you can count on them to fill in whatever open slot you have at the end of drafts. I mean, just a great asset to have on your squad. Clash is going to have 2 picks in a row now, though.
I was going to say, Retsu, obviously great on Azumarill, great. Was playing that close combat, power-up punch Lucario. Clash has been favoring Azumarill, so we might see Clash take Azumarill here, but it still leaves TTV with a very, very safe pick for Retsu in that Lucario, which is high octane. They have tons of reps on it. You'll see that gold badge if they do select that Pokemon going in, so you know they got the miles put in.
I wouldn't hate a Glaceon either. I think Glaceon is a fantastic Dodrio answer that we've seen kind of again and again in drafts. So I think that could be a good option for them to go into. However, you're going to have to balance it out. You probably don't want 3 damaging Pokemon in coordination, Alola Ninetales, and then I assume a Gardevoir is probably going to fill out their central area. Clash, on the other hand, though, have not really moved towards the Alola Ninetales, obviously, or the Gardevoir. They've found other central area picks throughout the game. So Cinderace gameplay, but a lot of Delphox action for the side of Clash.
Yeah, real quick. I see people asking about the time limit for picking. Normally, we're a little bit more stringent, but since this is the finals between some high-octane teams, we're giving them a little bit of leeway. So that's where that comes from. Real quick, I think a way to round out the Clash squad here, just loosely based, Glaceon, Azumarill, Delphox, I think would be great. It's all Pokemon we've seen them play and play very well. But hey, I'm an idiot, and Wigglytuff. Let's go.
I mean, I don't think anybody would be able to predict these next 2 selections. We got, not that one. Sorry, joking. We have Wiggly and Pikachu being locked in from Clash, and TTV locking in Tyranitar and Urshifu.
Okay, so I love the Tyranitar pick. We haven't seen it too much in Unite Mike's Mayhem, but definitely going to be able to square up very well into the face of this Mamoswine. And the Wigglytuff, honestly, as well. It's really going to be tough to keep the spacing if you're Pikachu and Dodrio. If the Dodrio gets anywhere close to that Tyranitar, it's got the opportunity to get blinked off the planet. And of course, Urshifu fills a similar role. Just big, that Wicked Blow is kind of, an air quotes execute type move, meaning it's just like, as your HP bar goes down, it deals higher damage, so obviously to the point of parity where a one shot KOs you.
Right.
So Clash has the opportunity here in the face of Tyranitar and Urshifu. I'd be looking to get a little bit of range going.
Yeah, find something you can to try to kite away from the wrecking balls that TTV has on their side, but just know you're also going to have to deal with Sableye constantly being in your black pocket. Now, Glaceon is going to be the pick from Clash, which I think is the best choice you have. It fills kind of all of those requests we had of them, gives you a little bit of range, a great answer to Sableye, in my opinion, one of the better ones, and having Pikachu to do the same with Electro Ball shenanigans is also a solid option.
Yeah, and they're going to have to be minding their P's and Q's here because we know Ender is going to go cross-down shootout with that Sableye. We know it's going to live in a different area code than where it's supposed to be. That's where you expect it. So it's going to be up to this Pikachu and this Glaceon to collapse, be able to hit a pivot, and keep Ender from getting too buck wild on their side of the map.
Yeah, you're going to try to shut down the Sableye, but in doing so, you got to remember to try to shut down the Tyranitar and Urshifu as well from getting too out of hand. Both of those last 2 Pokemon I mentioned, very tough early games, but the early game doesn't last very long on the side of TTV, so something you're going to need to keep an eye out for. Let's see how these teams are building out.
Real quick, Retsu on that Urshifu. You'll love to see it. They're going to be stacking. They have the Razor Claw as well. Otter, Rapid Fire Scarf, Focus Band, Muscle Band, of course. Lutano, big T-Tar getting it done. And that is Mr. Mime wearing a lot of spectacles there as they're going to be looking to deal some damage. Stark on this Mamoswine, not going to be stacking, but picking up that Rapid Fire Scarf as well.
Interesting. I mean, those auto attack, icy, freeze mechanics have been very, very strong in Mamoswine's early game. Not like that Pokemon needed another asset in the early game, but they finally got themselves one. Tempo running the Razor Claw, Float Stone, and the attack weight. I think we only really see a band sometimes in there for another option, but Tempo going pedal to the metal full speed with that Float Stone item.
Yeah, an E-Speed on the Tyranitar rather than a full heal, so they're going to try and work through the hummus that is this squad that Clash is going to put in front of them, and hope that delivers. A lot of eject buttons, but we know that Zugrug likes to use those offensively, and so does Otter, and I wouldn't doubt if Retsu does too.
Yeah, that is very true. Now, I'm excited to watch Yang play on the Pikachu. We've seen them on a lot of, ranged attack, special attack damage style Pokemon. Pikachu is not one that we have seen them on very often as of late. That being said, I think their gameplay is airtight. I think they play a very, very good early game. Their last hit around objectives has been exceptional, and every time we've had them at one of these Mayhem events, so TTV is not going to be able to sleep on a Pikachu when it's not normally a very big power pick.
The huge tip of the cap by TTV that Kubfu is a very, very weak Pokemon early game,
Hmm.
and actually sending the T-Tar to the path, obviously letting Ender be a menace across the map, which should buy just enough time for that Kubfu to get to Urshifu, and then they'll probably do the T-Tar Urshifu swap.
Yeah. I like that patience from Anemo just playing for their ball toys while Sonic just plays for vision, trying to spot out Ender. They finally get some good vision on them, but it might be a little bit too late. Red buff not needed for Glaceon to hit that evolution power spike, thanks to getting those ball toys that are often skipped these days when you're clearing without worrying about a Sableye in your area.
Look at this Ender just cruising with that Sableye in the slow zone. Doesn't matter. They're still getting away. Can you believe it? There you go. Quick little dusting there by Yan, Anemo, and Stark. They're trying to level up quickly. Stark's going to try and get some experience and get caught up to the rest of the squad. Not playing experience share and not stacking or anything like that means that they're going to have to get up to those levels the hard way. And that's tough sledding in the face here. But they're pushing and they're putting the pressure on. Zugro is going to go down, no question, as Clash is looking pretty crispy early game.
Tough sledding is correct. You want fresh POW, not a frozen wasteland when you were trying to go sledding or boarding or skiing or whatever you try to choose. You do not want to fall down onto that icy stone, which is what Glaceon and Mammoth are creating every single time. Great chase down by Tempo, trying to 1v1 against Ender, but Sonic D helping out. Still on that Jigglypuff, really have just been a man-to-man defense on Ender this entire game.
Tempo being absolutely relentless, not letting their own Jigglypuff evolve, saying, no, I need that. Let me get that into that action. They get a Sableye for their troubles here. Clash getting tons of KOs, but we know TTV is a more scaling squad. So really, TTV, what they're trying to do is bend, not break. They don't want to give up too much too early. They know they're disadvantaged here, and they're just trying to sustain until they hit their power spike and can start turning the tides on this.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, hold on. I gotta figure out something in chat. Give me a sec.
Of course, people are going absolutely wild in chat, so I'll pick up the pace while we're doing it. Tempo's eyeing down Retsu. Retsu's going to make it out. Indy going for the engage there. Ender trying to sort out Stark on the Dodrio, and we're getting a little bit of a retreat there, waiting for 720 Bs to populate. TTV's got good position down here, and Clash is looking to engage at the similar time there and get some experience in those birds for themselves. Just a good bullying and good spacing by Sonic with that Sing. Going to get in the face of Retsu. Retsu gets KO'd very easily. That's tons of points in the hands of Clash. And this goal zone has a real opportunity of going by. We're going to see an overdunk of 16 points right in time for this Regieleki to hit the map. Did they leave? No way they left that thing standing. Okay, I missed it on the map here as we went downstairs. Ender running around level 5. Not as high level as we've seen them when they were on the Sableye yesterday. But that Electro Ball finding their target. Start going in. That's a Volt Tackle. Can they convert on the KO? They do. This Clash squad has really figured out themselves how to deal with Sableye. Yes, they gave up the basement Reggie, but they got the upstairs Lecky, and now they're trying to sort the big fight out over that Indeedee in the middle.
Yeah, incredible work from Clash in this early game and absolutely stomping of a lead early on. Lutano has hit that level 9 though. The late game power spikes are starting to come online for TTV, but is it too little too late right now? 6 minutes left in the game and not a point scored for TTV at all.
That's without a doubt. Retsu trying to hold it down. Level 7, I'm expecting a little bit more action out of them, but really just trying to buy time for the squad. Stark trying to make it out, but all they've done is really buy time for the Dodrio, which is really the critical component there. Anemo getting jumped on by Ender. Ender able to retreat here as Otter's leashed by Zug. And Clash, again, still looking pretty stout up here. Something worth noticing, we saw some Pikachu play last night by Voltage, looking really good, has some big pop-off moments, but Yan really finding some good spacing, not getting KO'd too early despite the squishy. Oh, Tyranitar heating up using that Unite move, and there's the Unite move back by the Pikachu. They're going to see if they can convert here. The Urshifu goes down in Retsu, so it's kind of a one-for-one trade. That Electro Ball hits one but connects on two. Zugrug peeling back, and Ender's going on the scouting job.
The fact that it's a trade, though, just holds the line yet again for Clash. TTV now has no avenue to push in. Dodrio gets a few scores. Great play by Tempo to just use that Dodrio passive to the best of their ability, getting in more and more scoring pressure across the map. Only 181 points scored, but only one goal zone broken is a wild stat line.
Yeah, without a doubt. And of course, with the big 0 means that nobody on TTV has been able to stack yet. And that's also a pretty critical component in these games.
Yeah, Rutro for sure. Stark playing pretty far forward for a little bit of defense. Tempo trying to just get in and out. Lutano caught out very, very deep. Inder goes for a big back smack, but a Mamoswine lockdown is there for them. Zugrug does get a KO convert onto the Pikachu. Attempts to score for a half second, but Tempo is there to shut down any attempt at that.
Yeah, and Nemo is trying to track down Ender, but Ender a little too slippery today. They're able to make it out and join back into the fray with the backdoor action here. Mime Unite on the Regice, and Retsu's there, and they're going to try and close this thing out. Glaceon Unite comes out, Retsu seals it up for the squad. That's going to be a good opportunity to push here if they can find it. Stark is low. They go for a high horsepower. They're trying to get out, but they're cut off, no problems. Clash is just trying to hold down their goal zone, but it's T-Tar putting the pressure on up front. Here comes the Pikachu Unite, breaking up a ton of scores there, and they're going to be able to convert. Big Sing catches Zugrug, and they're forced to retreat. Lutano goes in. They're trying to keep up, and they're about to find themselves frozen on their own goal zone by the Alolan Ninetales. They're pushing forward. Just one player down for Clash, 2 players down for TTV, and Nemo's getting low, and it's Sonic trying to hold it up. A Big Sings for the re-engage. Stark tries to go for the high horsepower. They get a KO. Retsu gets a KO back on the Pikachu. They're still sieging this goal zone, but it's a Nemo taking over this thing. It's Icy out, home alone. Those icicles are coming down. Woo! We're getting it done. Lutano, peace and love and hugs. You're going back to your goal zone. You're going back to the Poké Center, no question. And Zugrug's about that action. They're going back into it. Zoinks, what is going on out here?
What's going on is someone has called a hit on Ender. That is what has happened. Every time that Sableye pops up and shows its face, it's like Clash has 4 or 5 players instantly turn their heads and shut down that Pokemon. Yet another gigantic overscore. Tempo just not wanting to mess with that math at all, even though we could have had a bigger overdunk. But Yang getting an entire 40, and they're pretty solid for them. Clash increases their lead even more. Yang pops the Unite move as the old just-in-case method, but it comes away with a knockout.
Oh, Yan's Electro Ball finds a Claydol instead of the Tyranitar that was on a sliver of HP. Can't be too happy about that, but they can rest their laurels on that scoreline. 221 to Goose Egg.
Don't say the word. Shut up. 221-0 so far from Clash. Can they keep from TTV from scoring at all this entire game? I don't know, but I do know that's the YouTube title of this match when it does come out.
Yeah, you know me, just totally known for those frilled and clickbaity thumbnail pictures. That's probably why our views are
It's all right. Clash all their Regice right now. Regieleki already. Stark just playing a little bit of defense from their own backline, playing for the peel. Honestly, just trying to find Sableye. If Sableye gets anywhere close to their team, they're trying to immediately turn and burn on that Pokemon to stop them from playing whatsoever. Level 13 Lutano is one of the only things that TTV has going for them, but level 12 Retsu could be a damage offensive set for them as well.
Yeah, Stark going with the high horsepower, really engaged, getting tons of engagements here, but this is what they want, and they've got an opportunity to isolate a ton of players down. 1 player down for TTV, but it's Clash taking advantage here. They're pushing in. Sonic going to try and use another Sync to buy some space for a Nemo. Can they? Here's the Pikachu Unite comes through. Chunks Retsu, and that's a Sync combo. That's a KO. 3 players down with a sliver of health. They're going to catch a reset, and they're working through the Lutano. Lutano really wants this Pikachu. Come on. I know you just won with Ash, but I can take you down, says Lutano. No, they're forced in space by Tempo, and they get KO'd. KO streak of 3 by a Nemo. Clash is up so big, they don't even want to touch this Rayquaza, and everybody on Clash is catching resets now. They're coming back with full HP, and Ender can't even make a move to score. They need this Rayquaza.
All right, the fence stays strong there. Look at the Mamoswine going one direction, the Wiggly going the other, blocking both of those goal zones, making it impossible for TTV to even attempt a back cap when those first tier goal zones are still up. Clash's defense is iron tight, and they were all able to reset and fill up those HP bars yet again.
Well, they're going back with being Ender no shot. You say you isolated it and you identified it. They isolated it and they're getting KOs here. They're working through. Everybody's caught in the middle and there's going to be tons of action. It's easy to chuck all your spells into one direction. And that's exactly what they're doing. There's 5 players down. 10 Jack Queen King, Ace, Baby, Clash, Ducket Time, Hundo Burgers on the menu. Get it done. That score is massive. And TTV gonna lose a game 1.
Clash is going to win this game to the infinite percentile, 621 to a donut on the other side. TTV starting this one out with the same scoreline in the match. 1 point up for Clash.
Clash has done nothing but impress me every time we've watched them play, and they are hungry to exact some revenge on TTV from Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 1, where TTV took them out in a 3-game set. Clash looking to punch their ticket to the finals, but before they can punch that ticket, they need to punch TTV in the teeth, and they just landed a pretty good shot right there, Zoinks.
Yeah, I'd say this is the best start that you could have ever asked for in this matchup that we're headed into. What a game there. Let's take a look at the final stat line. A Nemo with another 10 knockout game, double digits. Unfortunately, we don't see KOs on this one that you be falling upon yourself, so we don't get, KDs or anything like that. But 66,000 damage from them. Pikachu outputting 73,000 damage. Ender taking 60,000 damage. It must be 60,000 from them. Every single time Sableye was there, Yang immediately fired every cannon. It was like Adam Driver in that one Star Wars movie. So unfortunate looks there.
Yeah.
Incredible offense there from Clash.
Listen, was Blissey banned or was Blissey pulled in on overtime to work at the Pokemon Center for all the bodies Clash was sending to it? Holy smokes. That was a showdown. Listen, if there's one team that we know that can adjust from the NA, it's like I've mentioned before, the perennial favorites, TTV. They got a lot of fans out there and warranted. They're a team that wins a lot. And
Yeah.
they have some great people on there that can adjust accordingly.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. I mean, they have... They have the opportunity to make it easy switch up here. I think they maybe felt lost in the Sableye sauce and didn't think that there was that strong of a counter to it. And I'll tell you what, Clash has been doing their homeworks. They've been studying. They've been cracking open the books, and they certainly cracked the Code Da Vinci style on this Sableye because that thing looked abysmal out there.
Yeah, that was a game one. It certainly was. TTV have chosen to be first ban here for game number 2. They are going to ban away the Blissey with their first choice. And now we have Clash's choice coming in. They are going to keep it up with the Mew ban. Man, targeted otter bans is wild right now, especially because we've seen that player kind of leaning towards other directions as of late.
Yeah, or Clash is just like, we have the best Dodrio, we have the best Sableye. You give us either, we're comfortable with it. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. But TTV's sticking, saying Ender's like, no. I don't know what that was, but we're gonna run this thing back, and I'm going to be the menace. I'm gonna be the little rascal I always thought I could be. We're just gonna get it done. We're just gonna get it done this time.
Yeah, we're seeing some runbacks right now. Dodrio and Mamoswine being the next 2 selections for Clash. Very similar to the round number 1 draft, but hey, if it ain't broke, and it certainly wasn't broke on one side, TTV coming back with another repeat pick of the Alolan Ninetales. However, they are going to be giving it the addition of not Mr. Mime, but they're going to give it a Snorlax this time around.
Okay, so tip of the cap to Zugrug, who feels they can do a little bit better on the Snorlax, and of course they're one of the best ones going since the day the game was dropped. So if you're fighting for your tournament life and you're trying to keep it alive, guess what? You feed people what they want to play, where they think that'll give you the best chance to win, right? You can't just hedge all the way into the perfect matchup. Sometimes you just got to go, you know what? Give me what I want to play, and we'll get it done.
Yeah, that is very true. Also, I saw someone asking in chat, where do you find future tournaments? Just keep an eye on the Unite Mics Twitter. We run more events. Everything will get posted up there. So at Unite Mics on Twitter. All right, next 2 picks for Clash have been locked in. Pikachu and Wigglytuff. Seriously, Clash is just running it back again. This Wiggly.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? If you're going to give us the same exact look, so are we. And so far, the biggest switch, of course, has been Snorlax on Mime. And there is a world where Clash says, like, hey, that's better for us. And then is just okay with it. So TTV, a couple adjustments in the anchor here if they want them. They certainly have that opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, the CC coming out of Mamoswine and Wigglytuff truly is absurd, but I do think the final centerpiece of Pikachu in that triple lockdown selection here in the midpoints of their draft is really what makes Clash's competition shine is what I'm trying to say. That I think is the biggest part. Okay, I like this swap though from TTV here. They are going to be putting the Gardevoir into the central area, and they're also going to grab the Lucario. I like this a lot, mostly because I thought the T-Tar was a little bit of not it. So I am excited for this new addition to the team of TTV.
Yeah, I mean, it worked great for him last night. Gonna go to some shades of what brought you to the dance in the first place. Clash gonna have the last pick here, but TTV, they are throwing them a different look, and it's
They're
going
just
to be
running it
important
back.
for Clash to adjust if they really want to. Did you say they're just running it back Glaceon?
Yeah,
Okay, sure, why not?
exact same comp. You love to see it. You love to see it. All right, we are just waiting on the teams to fill into the lobby, which is there. But yeah, quite a game one for TTV. You can't get worse than that, right? So the comeback is going to be there no matter what. I am sure TTV is going to be wanting to put up a bit better of a fight in this game number 2. You got a few questions you need to answer, though. Can you avoid the crowd control? Can you try to play a little bit differently to avoid those big stuns and those big bursts of damage, especially from Glaceon Unite? Can you avoid those big landfalls of damage? Lucario and Snorlax, pretty good options to try to create some space and put an end to that.
Yeah, with TTV going back into the Sableye well really quickly, the thing that's most impressive about that donut it wasn't a donut. It wasn't just a donut in the face of a regular lineup. Sableye is known for its scoreability because it literally goes invisible and can
Mm-hmm.
just run to the goal zones. And Clash
True.
sussed that out and didn't allow that to happen. So that really, to me, says that they are comfortable playing against Sableye, and they have obviously adapted strategies to adjust. The difference now being that TTV's got a little bit of firepower lobbed in from a distance here through this Gardevoir, and they've got Retsu that might be going close combat pup again like they were doing last night, and be able to just leash out damage, unlike what they were presenting last game,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah. The tools are there right now. We have to put the rubber to the road. It is time. The plans are out. We need to start the testing. Let's jump into game number 2 and see how these teams are building up their Pokemon.
First thing I'm looking at is Ender and what they're putting on the Sableye,
Mm.
to see if they can use their items to leverage a little bit more of an advantage and put together a better strategy here. Looks like they're going with the attack weight and the E-speed. I might have thought in my mind's eye that maybe would have seen something like a full heal go in, just as a nod to be able to sustain a little bit longer to get back invisible and run around. But
Hmm.
Retsu picking up the potion, going to be pup, close combat. They're going to be looking to chuck Nux up front and see if they can get things sorted out with potion to just kind of give it that little pick me up so they can close the door on some of these frontline players for Clash.
Tack weight is a little scary here, considering. However, I seriously think weakness policy on Papa Lucario is still crazy good. I don't know why more players aren't moving in that direction. But you're right, Ender actually swapping off of the Float Stone onto Focus Band. Okay, cool. I like that tech at the very end there. I think that's a decent option for the Sableye. Give you a little bit of sustainability and give up a bit of that speed. However, Sableye feels like they have so much speed on their own. I don't think you need to worry
Mhm.
about that too much.
Yeah, I mean
Oh, okay,
that
hold on.
being
Sorry, we got a remake. Sorry about that, folks. I'll bring up the draft screen whack one more time. But we are gonna remake the lobby real quick. We got a software crash. It'll get sorted out momentarily. But we saw the teams. We know what was gonna be running back into. It will be happening very, very shortly. Um, yeah. Okay, can we talk about the Wigglytuff a little bit more from that last game, Dupe Snacks?
Yeah, it looked amazing.
Yeah, it
It
looked
looked absolutely
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, Wigglytuff is one of the Pokemon that never really gets the shine that it deserves when it's really, hitting its stride. You check out its stat line, it doesn't, with the Mamoswine taking all the damage, it gets a bunch of assists because of that sing. It gets credit off the sing when it goes
Mhm.
in and it hits a player that gets KO'd. But outside of that particular statistic, nothing else is going to jump off the page at you. So you really
Mhm.
have to watch it play. And the reason the Pikachu was able to sustain and stay up as long as they did, was because the Wigglytuff was always cutting off attacks to the Pikachu with a Sing to boost its speed to kind of cut off those advances and buy time for the Pikachu to step back, reset its Volt Tackle, reset its Electro Ball, and re-engage. And these teams are these players on Clash are communicating when they're doing things. If you
Mhm.
recall, and this is a very minor moment, but it's worth noting, Tyranitar Lutana was in the bottom path. Tempo was actually running around in a circle and did not engage on the Tyranitar, but was staying just close enough. And as soon as the Volt Tackle went, that's when Tempo engaged. But they didn't. They it was strategically called like that so that they could absolutely dust Lutano with all the cooldowns at once, because they knew if the Tyranitar survived all the cooldowns, they were going to get some KOs back the other way. But what Tempo did is they used the speed to buy some spacing. The Pikachu was already bubbled out because it's out of the melee range, and then bang, Volt Tackle happened. It came through. Yes, the Electro Ball hit that Claydol. That's when that happened. But I mean, they sent Lutano scrambling, and if that Claydol wasn't there, that's another KO for them in a well-executed fashion.
Yeah. Well, well executed fashion, I think, is a great way to put that, because that was Clash's entire game plan from the get-go. Constant combos like that. You mentioned it's a minor moment, sure, but only because it happens so frequently, I think, is one of the things that we could say is why it was so minor. But incredible gameplay from them. It looks like the lobby is remade, so the teams are ready to go. We are going to be headed back into game, and I think that means I'll have the team names on the right side right at the start, which is hype.
I mean, Unite Mike's Mayhem making just all of the strides because we got potential. We're climbing that ladder of success, of course. Let's go. Too
Yes.
easy.
Yes, indeed too easy. That is correct. But yeah, you were right. Some great combination plays. I think the Wigglytuff just playing that early game defense onto Sableye in that central area, buying so much time, and then letting one of the stars of this Clash squad, letting Anemo on this Glaceon really just go off. I mean, Anemo has had so much success on this team recently, has been a shining star. Very, very impressed with their play.
Yeah, gorgeous. They've been doing so well, and it shows that Clash never took a day off. They were unfortunately unable to attend the Pokemon Unite World Championships that they did qualify for. But they did not stop grinding, and it shows. They are a powerful team that is just absolute. I don't want to say they're peaking. They're just at that level now, that they're just operating at that high of a level. You know, they're able to put the screws to tons of great teams that we've seen them square up against, not only in Unite Mike's Mayhem, but in other tournaments. And they're getting it done. So you got to tip the cap to them. TTV, on the other hand, they had a little bit of, they fizzled out a little bit at the end of the UCS season last year. Sure. And they're looking to make season 2 their wheelhouse. And I don't want to say Unite Mike's Mayhem is the place to do it, but you're certainly finding great competition from around the world that you might not get otherwise in region lock type events. So this is a great litmus test for TTV to see where they're at and where they can improve.
I'll say it. Unite Mike's Mayhem is absolutely the place to do that. That is where I want to see teams coming back for it. I'll toot our own horn. Absolutely. All right. Well, we have these same compositions going in, of course, that we are playing draft mode. So these players are locked into this one. Celine Dion Wiggly is in the game. I know we both love that Hollowware to death. All right. Now, Clash starting this off, a classic 2-1-2 action. Jigglypuff will probably rotate back into that defense of the central area again, just to prevent Ender from getting too much value against their Eevee.
Yeah, experience share makes that a pretty easy gambit here as Ender runs directly face first into the Jigglypuff here. Already ticking over to level 3. Indy just safely retreating back to their side, and Tempo looking to get some cheeky scores in. They're unable to get that Pokemon out from under Ender, as Sonic and Tempo are both retreating back, and Retsu, they're getting their points in.
Yeah, they're getting some early stacks. Dodrio, not a great defensive Pokemon early on in the game, especially when it's just remaining on Doduo. A lot of damage comes up from Otter, though. Level 4 Alola Ninetales gets that access to Dazzling Gleam, and that little mini stun in combination with 2 teammates can absolutely wreck shop.
Yeah, so Ender deciding to slow down on the invade. Of course, I say that, and they might exactly go back and do that. But this allows TTV to put some really good pressure on some squishier Pokemon. Doduo is the time you want to take that Pokemon out and not let it gain any of the proverbial steam, not only in its stamina bar, but of course in its level advantage and its ability to score. Oh, those birds are absolutely eviscerated between those two squads here. I can't even tell where the crop of that experience went, but a good engagement between Clash and TTV, and they end up deciding to just peel back in their own respective directions. Not time to fight just yet.
It's interesting they're allowing Otter so much early value of the central area and allowing Lutano just to hang out in path. I mean, a Gardevoir is a level 9, a monster, true abomination in the game, but Alola Ninetales with those early stacks and Blue buff can really start popping off.
They're trying to find space onto that, and it didn't quite work out. They did get a KO on Dodrio, but another Snorlax going down back the other way. Zugrug bites the bullet for the TTV squad, but most importantly, lets Lutano get out proverbially unscathed until, of course, I say that, and there comes the Pikachu, there comes the Glaceon, there comes Stark, of course, on the Piloswine, and now it's up to TTV to try and re-engage, but Clash is already off doing other things.
Rocking all the way up to 83. Make that 85. These goal zones getting pretty low on HP in the bottom. Top path, though, pretty well defended. Retsu almost at level 7. Power-up punch. Lucario is doing well here. Wiggly locked in place and knocked out. Otter finding value. Tempo not able to get themselves a knockout. Otter sustaining all the way through a Dodrio flank.
Yeah, big time tempo surprise action there, but Otter says call an ambulance, but not for me, as they turn the tides on them and get a quick time KO. Clash, 2 players went down for 0, and TTV has to be happy about that exchange, and things are going a little bit better this time around than they did last time around.
Yeah, and showing a lot of presence towards that top path, just trusting Retsu to get the levels early, already at level 8 before 7 minutes. You do not see that too often from a solo Luca, so they are going to be within very, very good range of knocking out one of these Regis. Power-up punch, it's been in the game since the start, the best secure around, and that's why we see so many players adopting this move as the main focus for the Lucario play these days.
Yeah, you can see the hard rotation by TTV. They really want this Regice. And just the Wigglytuff is standing upstairs, but Tempo gets a KO on Ender. Who else? Zug trying to buy some time for the rest of the squad, but TTV really hasn't hit in this Regice, and it might leash back. It's at half HP. We're going to see what kind of damage these teams. Glaceon Unite comes in, and they get the KO on Otter. They're trying to push back the other way. The Regice is getting melted. Retsu steals it up for the team, but Snorlax is getting chunked in a big way. Piloswine goes down, and Clash needs to try and hold it down as finally Snorlax is taken out by Yan, and they're trying to find it back the other way. Big Sing catches Retsu, but not completely, as the close combat's going to help them sustain a little bit. They're on the retreat. The Gardevoir buys time, and Retsu makes it out.
Retsu does make it up, and securing that Regice is a big thing for that team. So far, Clash has done very well in the scoring department, but they're not quite there in the level race, and that Regi giving team-wide experience is going to be a big boon to TTV. They do have a couple members that are just ticking over to level 8 now, but reminder, both of those members are wielding experience share, so they're not too worried about it. The passive experience is going to be going up quickly for their side. I love the double EXP share.
Yeah, Stark trying to poach all those birds in the middle, but it's actually the close combat that I think took all of them. And Nemo doing tons of damage to Zugrug. Poor Zugrug is just turned into a pin cushion for all those icicles getting shot at them by a Nemo. But guess what? Much rather have them in Snorlax than anyone else on your squad. Tempo goes in for an engage, darts in, darts out. They're going to see if they can convert. Sonic is playing pretty far back, and there goes the Snorlax. Zugrug finally a Sing catches, but nobody comes through. Glaceon Unite comes out, so does the Pikachu Unite. Can they convert on Otter? They're trying to find an opportunity here. Retsu's getting so low, and it's the Pikachu that seals it. Now they're going to try and collapse on Otter. They do. Yan. It's Yan. This Pikachu is nasty. All it needed was one world champion win in the anime, and they're going to get it done. The Electro Ball comes through, and that's a big time stun by Indy. Resets everyone with that Unite move, sends them back to base, and Tempo's the only one. Didn't go back to base, but they don't have enough HP to re-engage. Huge by Ender.
That was so sick. I don't think I've ever seen it actually pop off in tournament play like that. Sableye with the triple. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Yes, Ender Pika Bud in chat, please, after a play like that. Tempo trying to make it up for their squad, though, coming back for the offense. Retsu locked in place. Icy Wind, Icicle's Fangs, that's just a passive attack. And Volt Tackle, say it ain't so, knocked out and sent back to base.
And it really looks like the basement Reggie's getting a lot of attention between these two squads. They like it. They like it in the cellar here as both teams are rolling down. But it's Wiggly putting in a 40 banger up top, and that's worth keeping track of as this lead gets longer. TTV looking to do work. Taking out the experience here, just a slight edge to Clash, and it's Ender that takes it out from under the nose of Clash as they're forced to retreat onto their own goal zone. And this is going to be a big time push by TTV. Snorlax Unite on the backside of the goal pad is huge, but it's Otter getting credit for 2 KOs. Anemo's trying to hold it down. They're going to try and chuck in some damage if they can, but it's going to be day late, dollar short. That goal zone's going to be gone. Clash trying to go in and break it up, but they can't. Sing in tandem going to try and catch out Otter and see if they can do something. Unite move by the Mamoswine comes out, but it's Retsu sorting out the Mamoswine before they can get KOs back the other way, and TTV is back on it.
39-point overdunk too. You can't get better than that. I love to see that from TTV with the quick mass in that game. Incredible overdunk there. Unite move from Dodrion, pretty late, but we're kind of at that period where you can earn it back. Ender pops up from the Nether Realm to get a knockout. Impressive play there. Now Clash is trying to find yet another offense. This is where the knockouts can really mean something, specifically if you force out a Unite move out of TTV. Ender is going to go down. No resources expended from them, but a little bit more experience drips to the side of Clash.
Yeah, and they're still up by 40 on the score sheet here. And the way Ender took that KO, man, it looked like the movie Alien, just popping out of their chest and taking them out. Big block, pins up a Nemo, tries to at least, and Nemo darts over the wall, and they're trying to get it, but it's Retsu getting credit for the Reggie. Lucky for TTV. Now there's going to be a little of a defensive game for old Clash. They're going to try and throw some damage into the bodies and also catch this Reggie Lucky, because if it hits, there's a good opportunity for an overdunk here. 48 left on the thing. Oh, like huge Pikachu Unite comes through, and it's Retsu just taking the brunt end of that one, trying to engage his Zugrog. They're going to try and get a push. 2 players down, 1 player down for TTV, but it's Otter sitting on the goal zone, Ender sitting on the goal zone, and now they're going to get all these points in. They're trying to do the battle math here. 2 left, and it's going to be Ender hanging out here, 48 points over.
I actually thought they were going to wait the full until the 2-minute mark, because I think it would have been 3 seconds left on that base if they wanted to get the double scoring. Not doing so. A lot of Unite moves used in that team fight now. So Lutano, no Fairy Singularity. A Snow Globe just finally comes back, but I don't think Lucario is going to have it either. Pikachu, the only one using it from the side of Clash, so they haven't been able to secure an objective yet because of Retsu's power-up punch, but maybe their Unite moves can be the key to success.
Yeah, Stark using the high horsepower to get out of trouble there, but that's a huge engage by Stark. They get a quick time KO, and they have more Unite moves on their side. Does Clash. This is their opportunity to make the difference here, and that's the Stark trying to get the Sableye. They do. Snorlax is using their Unite in the middle, and that's one of the 2 down. 2 players down for TTV. That's a big time block, and they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Zugrog's teeth right now, trying to make sure that they get laid down, go to the dentist. Sonic sorts them out. 3 players down for TTV, and that's a lot of damage on the side of TTV that isn't there. Sonic is actually going to score here. They're splitting their approach and seeing what they can do. Snorlax going back. Mamoswine going to try and catch that, but they can't. 54 goes in, and this lead is only 30 zoinks, and they're looking for an engage on Retsu. They've thrown everything at them. That's another Pikachu Unite coming down. Tons of HP getting shredded, but Ender comes in and catches the Electro Ball. Let's a Retsu get out. Are you kidding me? What a save. What a body block by the little Ghost Goblin as they're trying to come through. Yan's getting chipped now, and Nemo's cutting off the Otter advancement here. Ender's still on the backside because they're sneaking around. They're such a little menace, and now they need to wait for one of their sure hits on cooldown. It hits the Clay Doll. Are you kidding me? Ender gets out again.
Masterful timing by Ender there, utilizing the bush to increase their invisibility, timer cooldown, as well as Shadow Sneak at key times so that a Nemo's chase down was shut down every single time. Rayquaza now the main target, and Retsu is in full position to last hit secure this Ray. Can they contest this power-up punch at all? Well, Lutano's the one that will be able to do it, and TTV is going to secure the Rayquaza. They have to push and get some scores in, though. A sizable lead. You want to make sure it's uncontestable in these last few minutes or seconds.
Oh, yeah, and they've hit that mark. 10 seconds left. Clash, it doesn't have enough time to get across the map and doesn't have enough AOS energy to make it happen, even if they could. Clash putting together a heck of a fight, but TTV outlasting, coming through, getting it done, squaring this thing up at 1, and Unite Mike's Mayhem delivers yet again.
TTV with an incredible game win. Sometimes you just need to pick Retsu on Luca and take every single objective that shows up in the game. Incredible secure for that Pokemon. No one was able to really contest it. Volt Tackle and Sleep is not going to do much against an unstoppable target like Retsu when they get that keyword while utilizing Power Up Punch. So incredible play from TTV. Great strategy to focus on the Lucario. If Clash wants to make this a competitive game number 3, I think they're going to need to shake up their draft strategy instead of just running it back for a 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, it certainly got, Clash gave TTV a fresh look. TTV solved the puzzle, responded in kind. Now it's up to Clash to figure out what the next layer of that onion looks like, how to digest it, and get back into it without crying. You know what I'm saying? They got another one to win, and Clash wants to face their South American counterparts in the finals. TTV trying to take this thing down.
Absolutely. All right, let's throw it back to us for a short second. These teams are going to be getting set for a game number 3. It's going to be Clash with the option of 1st or 2nd ban. Last time they had this, they actually opted into the 2nd ban. So I'm interested to see if that strategy is going to repeat itself or not.
Yeah, well, you hope they shake it up in some fashion. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the pick order, but at least the picks that they're bringing to the table.
Yes.
Or it stinks when you have a strategy and there's a one note answer to it, and Retsu just showing up with Lucario and just kind of literally punching a hole through everything that Clash was trying to do. Don't get me wrong, Yan was popping off on that Pikachu. They
Oh
looked
yeah.
great. They were executing well. But that's the thing with the Electro Ball and the kind of that sure hit auto targeting type stuff. Sometimes, just sometimes it goes errant. We saw it happen with the Glaceon's ice shards going into the Claydol instead of Ender, and we saw it on the Electro Ball as the big time Electro Ball was going to take out Lutano, but here, or excuse me, take out Otter, but here came Ender, caught it with the body block, got right in the way, and was able to give TTV just a little bit of an edge in that final fight.
I like that a lot. Well, Clash not shaking up their picks quite yet, but Gardevoir is going to receive the banhammer from the side of Clash. They are afraid of it clearly. That's a lot of early damage. Losing that bottom path is a tough thing to deal with, especially when Lucario has such a strong early game on the top path. Having two losing paths at the start of the game is a problem for Clash to deal with, and there we go. They are going to block it away. Does TTV take the Dodrio now? No. They take
No,
Sableye.
Sableye?
They take Sableye.
Oh, they take Sableye. And who wouldn't after that amazing Ender Unite that
Yeah.
reset three players from Clash and looked absolutely amazing? You get one more moment like that and it makes it all worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got yet another Dodrio into Mamoswine pick. I don't know if I'm just chatting to a bot in Discord right now, but they are giving me these same picks every time.
Yeah, a little bit of Groundhog's Day action happening between these two teams. TTV switched it up last time. And, sometimes you can say you go into the well and the switch doesn't necessarily have to be in composition, but in approach. Um, Clash now squaring down, or excuse me, eyeing down a Mew and a Snorlax. So they're getting a different look from TTV. Are they going to offer it back the other way?
Otter finally off of the Alolan Ninetales on to the Mew, which has been Clash's permaban so far in this match. Game number 3, they're going to have to find a way to deal with it. Mew plays so exceptionally well into Dodrio, though, that's going to be a problem for Tempo to try to face.
Oh yeah, the fact that it's Solar Beam for massive damage, Electro Ball for that sure hit on the retreat, and of course, we can't discount Surf as an escape tool there for Mew. But the Wigglytuff coming in, it's been looking good when it's been in the mix, and they are really not about changing.
Absolutely not. I mean, they won a game against TTV in a shutout fashion. And why on earth would we switch anything up? Who knows? All I know is right now Clash is looking down the barrel of a very fearsome TTV, who, to be fair to both sides, hasn't changed things up too much either in this game around. Mew
Sure.
for Alolan Ninetales is not a gigantic swap either direction, going for a bit more offense, losing a bit of that defensive capability. So a definitely a different option, but still, TTV has to think very carefully about how they want these final two selections to go. Are you going to trust the Lucario power up punch a second time, or do you think that Clash is going to last pick like Slowbro or something? Probably not, right?
Yeah, probably not slow, bro. Am I like misremembering Clash having a sick Delphox? Am I just making
They
that up?
no, they do. I don't think they're playing tonight. I think. From
Ooh.
what I could see, because I know one of them is. I think they have like a few extra members on their roster. They kind of go through in terms of not too sure, but either way, yeah, the Pikachu has definitely been filling into the damage from range role that the Delphox has been doing in the past. Delphox is an interesting spot though. I mean, that Pokemon, I think, is a tough look into Dodrio, so TTV definitely not going to go towards it. However,
Sure.
TTV is going to pick the Lucario, and it seems like they're going to double down on the strategy of last hitting every objective in the game, as Dragonite is going to be the resident Lutano tonight.
Yeah, Lutano's Dragonite, not bad at all. That's shades of days of old. It feels like. So I'm glad to see that just back on Eos Island to begin with, because we haven't cast a Dragonite in some time. Hopefully they have that dope boxing hollowware so we can see the bell ring a couple times.
I love
Um,
that one, yeah.
but Clash with the adjustments to be made here, I think, or they're
Sure.
just gonna run it back and
Yeah.
yeah, Glaceon. What was I thinking?
Yeah, run it back for sure. Yeah, Glaceon coming back in again. Dragonite, an interesting pick towards this composition that they are facing. The Unite
Mhm.
move is a pretty good get out of a stun lock kind of situation as well. So that is going to be something that they have to utilize. Would not be surprised if that is the intention of this pick, is just to be like, hey, get off me, and then they move to a different part of the screen. But cannot be understated. Hyper Beam last hit secure is phenomenal.
It really is. It really is. Clash coming back to the same well, with the same drink, at the same temperature, the same volume,
Wait a
throwing
minute.
everything back the same
Hold
at them.
on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa,
Alrighty.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Let's go back to draft screen.
Wait,
um,
do we have a 4-player side there?
that yeah, incorrectly, I will add. We will get that figured out. Sorry, we got the ready for all the teams, but I guess the teams weren't um available. Anyway, well, after the second countdown, we'll get an immediate game end and get that lobby back in place. It only takes a minute, but yeah. All right, that was fun stuff. Legit 1v9. Yeah, unfortunate looks across the board for them. Inders Sableye played very differently in games 1 and 2. Game number 1, they played a very, very in their face, constant invasion style. They were moving to try to take away objectives every single rotation, and the Wiggly was a great shutdown tool coming
Mhm.
from Clash. It was shutting it down every single time. However, game number 2, I'd say Inder played a bit more passively, instead just playing for a little bit of intel, and then of course landed that crazy 3-player reset Unite move, which I just thought was sick when they tried to score in Sableye's face. So definitely played a little bit more reserved, but had bigger moments, I think, in that game in number 2.
Yeah, what they allowed to do is really let Retsu take over in the top path, just by throwing just a hair of weight around up there and causing the static that was necessary for Clash, or excuse me, causing static to Clash that gave just the necessary amount of space for TTV to take that lane over in complete fashion. And then after that, it made it a little bit easier for Ender to roam the map, which is ideally what you want your Sableye doing, right? Just
True, true,
throwing a wrench in whatever the Clash plans are,
true.
being able to escape and just forever retreating.
One day, I really want the meta to revolve around Sableye's feint attack for the wards in Unite. I think that would be so fun. I think that would be a very exciting addition to the game. However, I don't know if that move at the top level of play, the way it stands right now, is going to be utilized too much, especially just because Confuse Ray is so absurdly strong. And the nice thing about picking Dragonite is that you're pretty much surrendering the game if they have an enemy Sableye on that side. Hyper Beam is never going to be going the direction you want it to in that case. However, if the Sableye is on your side, you can say confidently that you'll be good to go.
Yeah, Beyblade it, baby, let it rip. Um, I'm it's I can't really see a world where Clash gets a bunch of objectives out from under TTV.
Right.
Um, so what, in my opinion, what they really need to do is try and get online early and score a ton of points like we saw in game 1.
Mhm.
Just make it an oppressive lead to the point where it doesn't actually matter if you're getting the objectives or not, because you're mounting such a massive point lead that you nullify the effects of those objectives when they come into play.
Yeah, very, very true. Well, the winner of this decides who goes on to play one more match tonight against She's on the other side. Clash at 1 game, TTV at 1 game. This thing couldn't get any closer. I'm excited to watch this game number 3. Can Clash shut down the last hit secures of Retsu? Can TTV shore up the early game scoring strategy of Clash? We can find out all this and more in game number 3.
Yeah, I want to point out the 3 buddy barriers on the side of Clash here.
Hmm.
Typically we don't see that many buddy barriers. 1 to 2 is a little bit more
Yeah.
the expected order of the day, if you will. But Yang picking up the buddy barrier is really helps them engage and sustain once they do, for an ability to get out because they are that squishier Pokemon.
Yeah, very, very true. Getting him, oh, he's gonna be an asset. Now, we get to see Otter's Mew, finally. Now, we've seen a lot of their Alola Ninetales, certainly. However, Otter absolutely no-lifed this Pokemon when it released, all right? I think there was 24-hour play sessions involved. I don't think there is a player on this planet that knows the ins and outs of Mew better than Otter does. They are a brainiac, an incredible player, and a dedicated Mew enjoyer. So I'm excited that we finally get to see Otter on this powerful Pokemon.
Oh yeah, and we saw that gold badge on that Mew. We know Otter. Otter's got the miles in, as I like to say. See where Otter goes in path, of course, and with the Snorlax leading the charge there, they're set up for success without a doubt.
We were all afraid when the gold badge showed up day one. But yes, we were. It is always going to be a good sign. Hopefully, one day we get a cooler mastery thing in Unite. A lot of people pulling for shiny versions of the Pokemon as a reward for getting that many games. Oh, and I get no game set, by the way. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm not a fan of the shiny idea, but it is one suggestion. I think it'd be a cool ad.
You're not a fan of the shiny idea?
There are some shinies that are so bad, Dupe Snacks. Imagine playing thousands of hours on Pikachu just to have them be a slightly different shade of yellow. Like, that was unnoticeable and so bad. It would not be good.
Sure, but if you're just going to get a badge for it, you might as well get the shiny. For shiny skin, right? Like, if all you're going to get right now is the badge, I think that's an easy ad. Anyways, Danger Noodle Lutano in the house. They've got Ender in their pocket here. And TTV looking to put some pressure on a Clash. And poor Sonic just really wants to get to that Wigglytuff in short order here. They're going to try and see if they can poach a bird to make that happen. Retsu's going to cut that off, and they're going to take everything as Ender's in the face of Tempo, keeping them from being able to engage as well. Sonic just trying to get out, and they do.
The tough part about the Dodrio play there is you could do a lot of damage, but you need to close the door on those knockouts, else you're going to have to face 3 members of TTV who all have very strong early game scenarios. You're going up as a Dragonair, a Lucario, and of course, I forget the third member that was even present in that situation. Oh, Ender, of course.
Ender, yep.
It's too many options that could shut you down completely on the return. Ender buying infinite amounts of time in the enemy central area. Tempo not able to secure anything. They're going to be they're actually going to be on time to that first round of mid-birds, so impressive play by them, but it allows Lutano a bit of breathing room around that scenario.
Yeah, of course. And now everybody's going to be collapsing on Tempo. Tempo has the opportunity to get out, but a huge heavy slam by Zugrug. Well pointed, well sussed out, chips them up unless the rest of the squad convert and get a good KO. Nemo's going to try and sort out Zugrug. Zugrug on the retreat going to use their passive to sprint towards those berries and keep themselves from getting knocked out. But that opens the door for Clash to score a ton of points as TTV repays the favor in kind up top.
Ice Fang Mamoswine is in this game number 3. I am very, very excited. I like Ice Fang a lot, even though people will always show the win rate number to me in my face. Who cares? Zugrug takes so much damage. The 3-on-1 situation for Clash is well dividend as Ender tries to shut down Stark. Stark locked in place is able to rush away from the close combat in the nick of time. They stay up. Solar Beam boosted auto. Not enough to knock out this Pikachu.
No, not at all, but a good chunk of damage goes on Yang from that boosted auto as Ender is just playing for some vision. They're going to start Registeel. Otter's pulling up to do that damage, and Zugrug's going to space. Good heavy slam there, gets Stark, and it gets Yan chipped up and keeps them from being able to engage. Retsu's going to go bully, and so is Ender, as Anemo's trying to find a way in to see if they can steal this Registeel out from under the squad. But of course, it's Retsu sealing it up with a big-time power-up punch, and now that Electro Ball from the Mew of all Pokemon comes through and sends Clash scrambling.
Imagine having a level 9 Dragonite and them not even showing up to the objective because they do not need to. Pup Lucario is back, folks, and it's wielded by Retsu, one of the most fearsome Luca players in North America. Maybe a little bit of time since they've held that title, but still, everyone truly remembers how powerful this pick is with this player.
And TTV has certainly found their stride here. They've been able to counter this composition. They looked rough game 1, but they'll take a donut in game 1 if they win the series. No questions asked. TTV taking care of this Regieleki. They're going to be able to smite this thing down with the Hyper Beam. They do. Lutano and company are going to drive and Miss Daisy this thing down the path as Ender is just being a menace. Tempo might get a KO there. Of course they don't. Heavy Slam buys the time, but it's Anemo that gets the credit with the Ice Shards. Now they're pushing forward. Glaceon Unite comes out. So does the Pikachu. Reggie Unite, but that's only to get away and to seal up this Regieleki. And now TTV kind of has the map to themselves, and they can go wherever they'd like.
Yeah, however, it takes away the pushing tools of pushing in the Regieleki. So Snorlax not able to block and push away the enemy defenders, thanks to how much damage came through from Glaceon and Pikachu. It is a hefty investment, but I think knowing all the contacts we have, probably the correct decision. Either way, they'd probably love to have those Unite moves right now for an early fight against them to try to take this basement Reggie, but Yang is caught up, locked up. Confuse Ray keeping you in place is too much to deal with, and now Stark is trying to lonely defend this goal zone.
Yeah, they're trying to. Sonic keeps Ender from scoring. They get a Retribution KO there as the boosted auto goes into exactly who you want it. That Mammoth Swine, they're not too concerned about that when they're at full HP, no question. Otter and Lutano going to take the stuff on their own side, and I'm keeping an eye on Tempo there, scoring up top by themselves, as Zugrug's going to try and take care of that.
Do your thing, Tempo. Do your thing. I need someone to be 21 in this game. Stark with a great Ice Fang unlocks the Lucario passive. Steadfast gives them that shield. It looks like they didn't take almost any damage at all because of it. Lutano already at level 12 is so much in this early game.
Great use of the Unite moves and the high horsepower. They come through. That's a KO on the Mammoth Swine, but they're able to get one on Retsu, who's a very high level. They're pushing forward. They get another KO. 2 players down for TTV. Now it's the Snorlax Unite happening in the middle there. Ender kind of gets chipped up. They got part of the Sing here, and Tempo's looking for Ender, but they engage on Otter. They make it all the way to the back line. Tempo's going to try and see if they sort that out. Big time Sing catches them, and their backhand, backslap, hamburger helper mitt comes through and gets the KO there. That's another one for Tempo, as now they're trying to find Zugrug. Scoop and score is Stark as they're trying to get Zug on the wrong side of nowhere here as they get heavy slammed into dust because it's Stark there that's stomping them down. And now Lutano is finally back, and so is Retsu with this Regice. They're fighting over it, but nobody's touching it. No question. It's like the plate of deviled eggs at the holiday Christmas. Ain't nobody touching that. Thing's nasty. Regice still hanging out, but now it's Clash falling like dominoes. TTV trying to make it happen as though Drio going to catch an Electro Ball. They're going to get chunk boosted auto dusted. Ender comes through. They're dealing damage. Confuse Ray's coming in. It's TTV all over this Regice, and I don't think Clash has what it takes to get into there and take it. Of course not. Hyper Beam gets it done.
TTV's composition thrives the longer these team fights go on. Clash needs to knock these Pokemon out like they are doing so early, but they need to double, triple down even on these little advantages that they're gaining. Otherwise, they're not going to have any pushing power or any last hit secure power. Zugrug with a little bit of a cheeky bush camp while they're waiting to try to score that 40. Sussed out there by Sonic on the Wigglytuff, though, so going to have a good defensive positioning, knowing they have no intel on where that Snorlax is. Only a minute left until our final stretch. An incredibly low-scoring game compared to what we've had so far. 124 to 140. TTV holding on to the slimmest of leads, but a lead nonetheless.
Yeah, and a marginal experience lead as well. Clash going to try not to hemorrhage back the other way. Tempo is on the run. Turn and peel on Ender, and they see it. They see the cooldowns from Otter were used, and they have an opportunity here. Zugrug getting caught out. They're going to get sung down, and they're going to get taken out by the Glaceon. And now Clash looking pretty good. They're down on the score sheet. TTV going to take that Regieleki, and we have 2 minutes, 20 seconds until Ducket time, Zoinks, and this thing is close.
Man, but now you have to deal with this Regieleki. You give positioning over to an incredibly powerful ripping composition of Dragonite Lucario. This is a tough spot that they are in right now. TTV with great masterful plays. Stark found, caught out the game's most dangerous form of hide and seek. Mammoth Swine has to Unite move against 3 for almost no value. Sonic is there for the help, but a big Unite move is stolen for the price of free right there.
Yeah, but Zoinks, what that did is it peeled TTV out from their positional advantage in the middle. So that actually bought Clash time to take care of the Regieleki and still be able to make it to the middle, air quotes, on time. For the cost of a Mammoth Swine Unite, that might be a trade they're willing to make. TTV posturing, they're trying to find it. They're not up by much on the score sheet, so a cheeky score by Clash can get this thing done, and Dodrio definitely has the chops to do that. TTV, on the other hand, is kind of surrounding this goal zone as the Dodrio's going to go back and heal up, and they're going to get into the middle because I think that action is kicking off.
Yeah, Lutano and Retsu hanging around the top of Rayquaza pit. Ray relatively untouched, but TTV's not going to be the ones to start hitting it. They do have information. They're in the lead, and if Clash even remotely starts hitting this Pokemon, of course, TTV is going to be able to close the gap on it. The power that they have in the Smite percentage damage ability is just too strong. Otter starts off the big Solar Beam to get some good pepper in damage early.
Yeah, Start gets chunked, but now we're trying to find where Tempo is. Tempo's on the backside. That Mewunate comes out. Zugrug's getting pretty low. The Glaceon can't sort it out. They're so low. The boosted auto comes through. Can Sonic get on Ender? No, they're peeling back. They're trying to collapse on the Dragonite. Hyper Beam comes through, and Nemo dodges it. Here's the Dragonite Unite for no much value, just to kind of get that buddy barrier and see if they can sustain a little bit. But they're getting slept down. 2 players down for Clash, but they're still putting up a pretty good fight. That's 3 players down now. TTV's turning the tides. Tempo themselves is getting 3 KOs. 3 players down for TTV. A Nemo gets chunked huge. Otto's trying to find a KO streak of 2 for a Nemo. The Heavy Slam comes through and takes out the Glaceon. Are you kidding me? And Zugrug might get the score for free. Tempo's going to go try and get their points. And can the Pikachu break it?
No way!
Unite move is too late. Unite move is too late. Are you kidding me? Zugrug puts the barrier on that. Gets it done. That big body scoring it. It's a big body, but with protein's different. We scoring out here, but we got points going in up top, but I just don't think it's going to match that Hundo Burger.
There was a big score from the Dodrio before those small ones, though. So I don't know.
Did they get their Hundo Burger in too?
No, not a hundo. It was shorter than what the Snorlax actually had. I can't believe the Pika missed the last. No way.
No!
TTV holds on to that one. Zugrug scores with literally millimeters of room. 280 to 258. TTV are gonna win our match, and Clash is knocked out of the finals.
TTV just dancing on a razor's edge here, gets it done. And what a play by Yang to try and use their Unite move. As soon as it was within range, they fired it off, but those iframes on the scoring animations kicked off right before it, and it's Zugrug getting the crown for TTV because he's the reason that they're going to the finals here in Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 2.
Oh, I thought that potentially Tempo and Anemo really swung things back their way. Huge knockouts really made the clock their biggest asset, but Zugrug getting the last hit onto Anemo, knocking them out, knowing that Dodrio's going towards their goal zone, the only up and available Pokemon for the side of Clash, goes for the score. An incredible play there from one of the best tanks in the entire game. Shout out to TTV.
Jeez.
We are going to see them very, very soon, but we have our finals coming up next between Shees and TTV. We couldn't have wrote it up better if we tried. Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 2 finals. All right, the finals of that one are coming up right after this.